let's see, trying to figure out where to start. I guess I could just explain, we're going to go in chronological order because that's the best way I can do things. Basically, about a week ago, right? About a week and a half ago, I was working on the idea of adding KnockBack into my game. Now, the reasoning I want to add KnockBack into my game is just because I feel like that would make the combat a little more fun, a little more smooth, just all around more enjoyable. I don't think like, little sticks that just do a little bit of damage are the best thing. So I started experimenting. I started going through YouTube videos, started looking for scripts that will have KnockBack, and I ended up finding this one script that it was this YouTube video of this kid who was basically like, hey, I put KnockBack on this block. When you touch this block, it will fling you backwards some amount of feet. I was like, okay, I should be able to work with this. First, I ended up putting the KnockBack on the 4 deadly blocks because I thought that, it would just look better if you got hit by the deadly block, died, and then flung off somewhere.
Now, let me just show you the general idea of just kind of like KnockBack and how I've included that in my game, right? We're going to go to, let's just say, right here. Play here. Perfect. All right. The idea is that if a player stays in this area too long, this block will come by and kill them, right? We've already, established that, gone through that. Perfect. Except for just dying there and being pushed around by the block kind of looks goofy. So I was like, all right, let's add some KnockBack to it so that it has a cooler death animation, and yep, it flings you across the map. It's amazing.
The next step I wanted to work with, though, was adding KnockBack and Ragdoll together. Now, what this would do is I just, once again, feel like it would make it look better, When you get KnockBack, you get Ragdoll for, like, my guess would probably be half a second, and then get back up, get back into the fight. That sounded pretty fun to me. This is where just it took for fucking ever. Like, I searched the entirety of YouTube. There's just not a guy who did the thing I was exactly looking for. And when there was a person who did it, they did it incorrectly. No one knew how to do this. What I did end up finding was I found this one script, right? This is the only kind of Ragdoll script that I found that worked, where the script was basically saying, when the character dies, turn them into Ragdoll. I was like, okay, I can work with this. I basically just re-engineered the script to saying, when the character touches this block, the KnockBack block, Ragdoll him, all right? And this worked for like a second. I was so happy because basically I touched the block, got flown back, and then I was Ragdoll. I was like, great. But then I bumped into another problem.
It's saying, hey, this is the current ball's position. If a player touches this, add a new position to the player. It uses velocity and a bunch of nerdy stuff like that. I'll leave a link in the description of where I found this code. But the problem is this. When I tried to add KnockBack onto it, right? Here, I'm going to delete this because this has nothing to do with it. Let's just add a new script real quick. Rename this KnockBack script. Or sorry, no, Ragdoll. When I added Ragdoll to it, right? All right. Where the fuck did that script go? Halar? Where? There it is. Okay, great. Go over here. Now, if we come over and go to starter character scripts, this script right here is the only script I found that actually really does like Ragdoll the way I wanted it to, right? So what I did originally was I Control-C this script, come over here, Control-V. Okay, local humanoid equals script.parent : wait for child humanoid. I guess oh, you know what we should do? We should just keep this script back in starter character scripts. Give me a second, I'm just being a dumbass. Great. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to say local block equals game dot workspace dot KnockBack ball. Perfect. Now that we have that done, we can come over here and we can say knock sorry, no, block dot touched colon connect function. Okay, this should work, and I don't know why it wouldn't work. All right, great. Okay, perfect. So let me just stop. Now that you guys see that works. The problem with adding ragdoll and knockback that I bumped into is that once I ragdoll right, once again, that happens. Yeah, basically that happens. I can't get out of the ragdoll, and I do not know why. It just doesn't work. I've tried everything. I've gone to multiple different YouTube videos. I've tried stopping the function. I've tried reverse engineering my own. And for whatever reason, I can't figure out the knockback with the ragdoll. And so my next approach, and here, let me just show you the YouTube videos I've been watching. Or actually, hold on, wrong YouTube videos, but trust me, I've watched like every YouTube video with knockback and ragdoll, and I wasn't able to figure it out.
I stayed in ragdoll. I couldn't get the fuck out of ragdoll. And when I tried to get out of ragdoll, my character would just like fly up into the sky. It would do all sorts of random stuff. I couldn't end the ragdoll on the thing and just reset my character. I actually did end up contacting a friend, and we kind of found a solution, but it wasn't a good enough solution. Basically what it was is that after the character would ragdoll, we wrote a little bit of code that says reload the character. And it worked in the sense of it canceled the ragdoll, but it reloaded the character at a different spawn location. And then we spent like an hour trying to figure out how to load the character at the original position it was in. And it just all in the end didn't work. So after spending like 2 or 3 days trying to figure out this whole knockback ragdoll thing and scouring YouTube, I just needed a break. I was like, I can't focus on this correctly. And it was also perfect timing because preseason started at my school and I had to start football practice. Oh my God. That shit was so hard. I had 3 practices a day, and one of them was physical conditioning. And the guy who was leading physical conditioning, he was on the football team of my school in 2017, right? In between then and now, he was in the fucking Navy. And so he was putting us through goddamn like like Navy practices. If you don't do the rep correctly, like say he wanted us to do 30 push-ups, right? If one of us failed to do those 30 push-ups correctly, he would make us do 30 push-ups again. And then there was just a bunch of other stuff. One of the practices we had to do, I had to carry someone that was about my size and weight up a fucking hill. It was just awful. And then we had to bear crawl with them strapped to our back. It was just not what I pictured football training would be like. Anyway, that went on for a week, and I was like, all right, let's get back to coding. So then once again, I tried to really look into YouTube, and I was like, okay, I need to get a video out. It's been like a week or 2, and people are gonna be wondering what the fuck have I been doing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to at least try to put knockback onto a stick. All right, I just want knockback there, at least knockback. So I tried to temper with the code that I put on the block originally that would knock you back. I bumped into another problem. The way the code works on the block is that it uses the position of the block and the position of the player, and it just adds to that. It adds to that player. So basically, when the player touches that block, it shoots them in a certain direction, whatever. But the thing is, a tool doesn't really have a position, and it also has a hard time like connecting with another player. Like, I tried to reverse engineer that code and the attack code I had, and it just did fucking jack shit. Long story short, my knockback code was a waste of time. I haven't been able to figure it out yet. I haven't been able to figure out ragdoll. I do want to figure it out though. Just so far this video, that's not going to happen.
Let's just take Deadly Block 4, for example, right? We go to server script storage. We go to Deadly Block 1 also works. Knockback. I tried to reverse engineer this knockback script for a tool. The problem with using this script on a tool, though, is that this script takes the humanoid and parts position and just kind of takes a difference in those two and knocks back the person that way. A tool doesn't have a position. That's the problem with using this script and tool. It simply doesn't fucking work. And I don't know. I've tried my best. So what I'm stuck with is just a bunch of tools that do damage but don't do knockback. Now let me give a demonstration of what I mean by that. Perfect. I run over here with the base stick. And let me just knock on this player real quick. Aba, aba, aba. I went through like multiple test stages with that. I was never able to get the knockback strip to work. Of course, I'm going to still work at it and stuff, but for now, all I have is just weapons that do damage. And that is not ideal. I'm definitely going to work until I can get that knockback strip to work.
So after I came to the conclusion that I couldn't do this by myself, I was like, okay, I still need to get a video out. I still need to get stuff done. So for the next 8 hours, I just grinded coding. I was just getting a bunch of random things I know I needed to get done. I added in 4 new items to the game. One, which what I would call the base stick or just like the main stick. I might rename it. This is just the stick that everyone is going to spawn in with, and it's just going to be your starter weapon. You know, attack players with it. I made a god item called the Mom Slipper, which is just basically like whoever gets this god item will have buff stats. They have better knockback, better damage, can run faster. But players are going to have to fight for that, so it's a one of a kind. And then I also added in Scuff Dew, which is a personal favorite of mine. It's just a healing item, so you know you chug it back, heal for about 25 HP, and I'm not sure what it's called. It's like a cooldown time, so basically you just can't keep spamming it. And then last but not least, I added in a battery, which was the suggestion of a fan. I'm trying to remember who it was. Give me a sec. I was watching TikTok, don't worry about it. Go to my notes app. All right, yeah. The battery for speed boost and loss of health, that was the Shady Knight, which is just a guy I met on my stream. Pretty cool dude, just suggesting a few things. So shout out to him. I'll, leave his name probably next to the battery in like the lobby or something.
We have base stick. This is just going to be the main stick that all players start out spawn with, Pretty simple animation. I want to add knockback onto it, but I've already explained to you guys why that hasn't been the case yet. The next thing is, okay, so do you guys see this area in the center, right? I want to give, or I can actually just stop this real quick. Okay, great. See this area in the center, right? I want to give the players an option, right? I want them to either decide, hey, I can go in the center and I can fight for a god item, or I can just start my ascend upwards. Now, the god item that's going to be in the center is going to be called Mom Slipper. And I had a lot of fun animating the this one because I just made it. You'll see what I mean. Bop. I just made it a full backhand slap. Okay, so Mom Slipper, it's just going to be generally just overpowered, all right? Because it's going to have, oh shit, all right. It's going to have more knockback than any other weapon. It's going to, what else? Yeah, more knockback, more damage. And maybe I was thinking of making it give you a speed boost or something. I'm not sure. Point is, this is going to be the god item in the center of this arena that everyone's going to fight for. That's kind of the idea. The next things I made was Scuff Dew. I didn't really want to import a Mountain Dew into the game because I was A, scared someone would get mad at me that I stole their thing, and B, just thought it would be better if I made my own anyway. What Scuff Dew is supposed to do is, here, let me do current client 2. All right, great. Let's switch back to home, current server. Okay, great. So now that my health is hella low, right? Oh my fucking god, I can't work with it. See my health bar up there? I made basically a healing animation with the Scuff Dew where you chug back the dew, it heals you up right away. It's pretty simple. I did add a little bit of a cooldown time to it so you can't just spam heal. But yeah, that's what that does. And then here, I'm just going to get rid of these properties tabs. I'm going to deal with those later. And then the last item I added was a battery, and what the battery is supposed to do is eat it, and it gives you a speed boost. It gives you a speed boost for like 10 seconds. Hold on. I'm going to let it wear off for a second. Wizard ward off. Okay, one more time. Boom, speed boost. Now, because you're not supposed to eat batteries, this will take away a little bit of your health to use the speed boost. But you do get speed for like 10 seconds, which can be really helpful for evading an opponent or just getting to the top of the hill quicker. Whatever you want to use it for, be my guest. And yeah, that was kind of... It's basically all the items I've added. Personally, my favorite is Mom's Slipper. Once again, I'm going to try to add knockback to these two items, but of course it's going to take time. Another thing is, I haven't done this yet, but you're not going to spawn with these three items, right? Like Mom's Slipper, there's only going to be one of them, and it's going to be in the middle. Scuff Dew and Speed Battery, that's just going to be throughout the map. You're just going to have to pick it up and use it, because I just do not want players to be like spawning with these items right away. I'm going to have to figure out how to place these around the map, and we're just going to see how that goes.
Oh, that's also something else I did, was I added a lobby to the game. It's an outline, so it's not done yet, but it's just going to be there. That's where players can hang out in between rounds. Last but not least, I also added in the parkour I was talking about last video. So I put in a bunch of things. Parkour, kind of like only up style to the last little area. And I also added in a day and night cycle. And all of that took me, once again, a few hours. Just a lot of animating, a lot of coding, a lot of trying to make things look pretty.
That I made the lobby arena, or I made like an outline to it. This is just basically going to be the lobby where people chill. It's going to be great. Oh, I also completely forgot that I built this. I built what I kept talking about last video, where I wanted to make like an only up type of parkour to the last final platform, which is up here. And yeah, this is kind of what the parkour looks like. I have some characters that I just kind of made up, I explained this last video. Donkey, Heisenkerb, Sir Pig, and Yershi, great characters, great quality of life. Oh, and then last but not least is I added a day cycle to my game. If we put fucking run right here, you're just going to see the sun move ever so slowly. Actually, what we can do, day-night cycle right here. So here's my day-night cycle script. It's basically, I don't really know how to explain the code, to be honest, because I didn't make it. Once again, I'm going to leave a YouTube link. But this number right here is what we can use to change the speed of it. So let's just say I change that number to 0.3, all right, or 0.003. And then we come over here and hit run. There the sun goes. You can see it moving very clearly, very much quicker than usual. Come over here, change it to 1.1. Yep, there it goes. It's fucking moving now. Yeah. So that's I completely lost. There it is. That's the day-night cycle code. Pretty simple. Let's change this back to the original number, 0.1.
For my next video, I really do want to try to figure out this knockback thing, really do try to figure out this ragdoll thing. I feel like it would just make the game so much better if I can figure that out. Of course, I'm going to be working on other things in between, like I need to work on art. I have to figure out how to use digital art so I can make covers to my game and, just kind of make my game generally look better. And yeah. If any of you guys have any suggestions for the knockback code, like adding knockback to a weapon, feel free to reach out. I'm, happy to hear suggestions. But for now, it's great to be back. I got my routine now in my new room, and I'm ready to go. It is hot as hell up here. I had to turn off the fans for that entire bit of recording, so I'm going to turn these boys back on. Oh, boom. Yes. Yes. And one more. I got two fans. Hey, let's go.